Howdy and hello. How are we all doing? Had a good week so far? As always, I forgot it was Saturday. The week, it just passes too quickly. Too many things to do. Let's just check everything's looking good here. Okay, so sound seems good. I know you can hear me. That's great. The amount of times I've started the stream now and had my mic muted. How embarrassing. Oh, but I do have some good technical news. Some of you may remember, I've been having nothing but monitor trouble. I had to replace my old monitor. It was getting old and worn out. Served me 10 years, faithful service. And so I thought, I'm gonna upgrade to one of these new fangled 4K monitors. And the first one I got, it's got a few dead pixels and a few stuck pixels. I'll exchange it, get a replacement. Oh, this one has more, and they're in more obvious places. I guess this one sucks. I'll send it back and try a different brand. Oh, this one has even more noticeable dead and stuck pixels. Great. That one's been sent back now. I've got a new monitor. There's no stuck pixels. It's beautiful. It's 4K. It's crisp. Oh, couldn't recommend a 4K monitor to anyone who hasn't used one before. It's so big, and everything's so sharp and colourful. It's a bit more on the expensive end of monitors, but you know what? I think it's worth it to get a fancy 4K one. And I see people in the chat. I've got a sub to you too. Okay, random wanderer. Just finding out new game things. Yes, people can steal your power armor. That was a surprise to me too. Did I update to the latest mod version? No, I haven't, Kel. I must apologize for that. I tend to be a bit weary about doing that. However, I think, I could be wrong, I think the quest coming up doesn't have any, doesn't have any or many perk choices. Could be wrong about that. Could be completely misremembering, so, I'll do it for next time. Because I might as well, I'll mention it at the end if I remember, but if not, I will mention it now. I will be away soon. I'm going away for Christmas for a few weeks, so this will be my last stream until next year. I'm very sorry. I know tears are being shed. And also I have to go to bed a bit earlier than usual tonight, so that's why I'm starting half an hour earlier. I'm very sorry for those who may not be watching already. Kez. Very sorry, but if you're watching this on catch up, I'm sleepy, so deal with it. And speaking of technical issues, I think I could be wrong. I think I fixed the issue of Fallout starting on my second monitor instead of my primary monitor. So fingers crossed I don't have to mess with that. It's been working. I tested it. It was working. Now that I've said this, watch it not work because of course. Kez is in the chat. Okay, good. You haven't missed the stream. Will this be a Christmas special? You mean the stream? I guess it is. It's as close to a Christmas special as you're gonna get. I have no theming. I didn't plan for it to be a Christmas special. But ho ho ho. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Merry Kwanzaa? What other holidays do we celebrate on this time? I don't know. Passover? No. It's not a Christmas holiday, is it? Either way, you can consider this the holiday stream. There's kind of a... If you could sort of squint a little bit, the falling dust effect, that's kind of like snow. Golden snow. Which sounds disgusting when I say that out loud. Oh! Also, should probably bring it up. I'm sure everyone's seen it already, but if not, you should check out this crazy new creation on the Skyrim store. I hear it's been made by some talented people. If you don't know what I'm talking about, somewhat recently, Bethesda's making an attempt again at doing the whole creations thing, and King Gaff Creations, a new thing, is part of that, and I'm part of King Gaff Creations. So we now make, I guess, semi-official content for Bethesda games. It's pretty damn cool. If any questions about that, feel free. I understand it's somewhat of a contentious issue for people, the whole paid mods thing. I don't quite see it that way, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be part of the program. But at least from my point of view, and I'd say probably from the King Gaff Creations point of view, this is Bethesda trying to do it better than they've ever done it before. So, give it a chance. It may turn out to be awful, who knows? It may turn out that, hey, this thing that King Gaff Creations made, it sucks, everyone hates it. You should try harder. Or it may turn out that people like it. I hope people like it. Nick Carter says, do you plan to make any more mods for Starfield? Well, I don't think you can mod. Well, okay, you can mod for Starfield at the moment, but there's no proper tools for it. I can't say if we will or won't, because, you know, I can't speak for myself anymore. We're a little company thing. Would consider it, for sure. Like, full disclosure, I wasn't in love with Starfield. It didn't capture me. I was one of those people that was kind of disappointed by it. So, would I mod for Starfield out of pure pleasure? Nah. It doesn't grip me. There's nothing there to bring me in. However, if I'm given the task of, hey, it's now your job to make content to improve it and make it better, alright, I'm up to the challenge for that. It helps that I will hopefully get paid for it. Because that's the thing, it's, a lot of the kickback I've seen is like, oh, mods should always be free, you're charging for things you're making now, but the thing is, me personally, I would never work on Starfield for like a hobby. It's just, again, it doesn't grip me, so it's not as if now we're charging for content that otherwise would be free. It's like, no, we wouldn't have made that content otherwise, but like, if you're saying we can do this as a job and be paid for it, okay, fair enough. I like making games, and I'm willing to make something for a game that maybe I don't have the most passion for, but I'll do it professionally. Because I've done plenty of jobs that I have not a huge amount of passion for, but I will do it professionally, and I'll do it the best damn way I can. And you know what? At the end, maybe I will make something I enjoy. And I say this as someone who's done a lot of theatre plays that weren't very good, and I knew they wouldn't be very good going into them. But at the end, you know what? We made something of it, and that always felt good. So yeah, maybe this whole creations thing is something to get me into Starfield. Again, this is speaking for personally me. It's up to the team, of course, and up to whatever tools we get from Bethesda eventually, fingers crossed. Let me catch up with the chat now after I've gone on my little rant. King Gaff should make his own games. Well, that's the point of King Gaff Studios. So the idea is we want to start doing things that will bring in revenue that we can then use as a funding to basically allow us to work on creating a game. Because it takes a long time to make a game. And so far for things like Sim Settlements 2, for a lot of us, it is kind of like a second job, the amount of time and effort that's put into it. But to ask us to make a whole game and get a team together and do that for free, it's a big ask. People have a primary job that they're already doing to try and make a living. They get home and it's like, okay, time for job number 2, but you don't get paid for this one. So the idea of King Gaff Creations is, hey, you do get paid for it. Like, we want to fund ourselves to make games. And the creations thing is like, that's one avenue we're going to pursue and see if, does that bring in revenue? Is that enough for us to make our own stuff? And fingers crossed it is. If you've not seen it, I'd recommend checking out the video on King Gaff's channel. I think it's, what's it called? Like 10 years plan, or our plan for 10 years or something. And Gaff goes over kind of what we're aiming for there with King Gaff Studios. Random Wanderer, not at all. I want you to make more stuff. Can't ask for it for free. That's the thing. I get a lot of the pushback and the negativity towards the whole paid mods in quotations thing, because yeah, it can be done wrong, I think, and it has been done wrong before. But if you never give, let's give Bethesda a chance, because if you don't do that, then they're never gonna give something that will actually work. And yeah, I do think modders, me being one of them, sometimes should be paid for our work, especially if it's something we wouldn't necessarily do outside of being asked to do it for a job. Not to say that Bethesda asked us to do anything for a job. We were offered the chance to be part of the program, but the cool thing about it is we can kind of do whatever we want there. But, it's a business now, so we have to look at what do people want, what can we deliver, how can we do it in the best way possible. And another cool thing is because we can now make this a business, it means we can afford to pay other people, like voice actors, which is something sorely missing from a lot of projects, because you're asking people to, provide a service for free. And we got really lucky with some settlements, with so many people providing us like fantastic performances for free. They're volunteering to do it. But you can't ask people to do that on like something else. Like I can't imagine us pulling that off again to get people in. And you know what? They deserve to be paid for their time regardless. So this allows us to do that. It allows us to pay people to make stuff, and that's pretty damn cool. Just catch up with the chat. Chat's so active today. I've had fun playing so far, says Cal. I'm guessing this is about the East Empire. Oh, that's the thing. Our creation's called the East Empire Expansion, so if you want to go check it out, that's what it's called. That might help if I told you what it's called. Again, assuming all of you don't know this, because I'm guessing almost everyone here, you keep up with King Gaff, so you know what's going on. The new creation thing will come to Starfield if you guys make your own star. You can use the in-game assets to make stories. Well, that's the hope. Like, we don't know what tools will come out for it yet. Obviously, something like the creation kit's bound to come out. Probably I'm not sure if they're going to call it something new, or it's just going to be Creation Kit Starfield Edition. But once that comes out, that will definitely give us the tools we need to make stuff, hopefully as good as Sim Settlements 2. But it could be that Sim Settlements 2 is like the most biggest epic thing we ever make, because 5, 6, 7, 8 years has it been in development now? It's been a while. So I don't think we'll make something quite that big quite as fast, but who knows? If we are successful with this whole thing, maybe we can employ the people to help us make this. We can't just rely on people to volunteer their time, which is kind of how we've done things until now. The verified creation program has fixed most of the problems with it. I think again that Bethesda's kind of doing this right this time. At least they're trying to. It is a difficult thing, and of course, the community was burnt by it before, and didn't quite get what they wanted, and it felt, a bit predatory maybe. But this time, I'd say it's much more like the creators get more out of it. We have more freedom. Bethesda's been great. Like, again, of course I'm going to say that, but they really have done a lot to assist us. So at least from our perspective, I can say it's not felt bad or predatory. It's felt like, oh, they really want this to work, and they're making an effort towards it. And I don't think we wouldn't feel comfortable doing it if we didn't think this is them trying to do it right this time, and we want to be part of that. And we want to make content that people think, you know what, that's worth paying for, and this is what it allows us to do. So it's kind of cool. Nick Carter, do you know if there will ever be mods for... Hang on, let me reread that. Do you know if there will ever be mods with on-sale prices in the new marketplace? I don't know. I think that's something we've maybe asked about at some point, but it's either something we're not allowed to know, or it's not been decided yet. So I couldn't tell you. I don't have knowledge of it. I would assume so, because that's how it worked on the older version. Like when you boot up Fallout 4, you'd always see stuff that's on sale. So I don't know is the answer to that. But once we know that, maybe we can tell you and be like, yes, eventually things can be on sale. But for now, no. Whatever you see is, as far as I know, and as far as King Gaff Creations knows, that's just the way it's going to be for a while, at least. Again, maybe the future. Cross your fingers, because I like sales. I always wait for the Steam sales to buy all my things. So I always wait for the what would they call, creation sales? I don't know, but when you log into Fallout 4 and you check the little creations tab, it's like, ooh, 50% off. I might actually get that now, because who doesn't like a good sale? So yeah, if you don't want to buy East Empires now, maybe hold out. I can't say there will be a sale, but maybe there will, and you can get it 90% off. Wow, what a saving. I'm making that up. I have no idea what the percentage would be. Guardian says, all I ask for with paid content is some kind of quality control. I suppose that's the intent. Yes. So I think if you check Bethesda's page about this, they give you some details of how it works now. And I think most people are eligible to join the program, but you kind of have to have a back catalogue of content to show, yes, I make mods, and here's sort of the quality of what I've made so far. So you have to jump that hurdle first of all. It's just not anyone in. You have to show that, yes, you can make stuff, and it's not just, not to be mean to people who make low quality stuff, but it's not just trash. It's not just a reskin to make everything bright pink, because I don't think that would make it onto the marketplace. And then once you're on the once you've joined, you get support from Bethesda then as well. So that's, it's, I don't know how the old system was because we weren't part of that. But I'm suspecting this time, again, Bethesda, they want to do it right. And they seem to be, so far, again, we've had such a negative response from a lot of people, not us, but the program, because, it's, people have been burnt before, so they're getting that sort of, ooh, no, I don't like that. But give it a chance, I'd say to people. And, if you still hate it, fair enough. Or if you've no interest in buying paid mods, don't do it. That's the great thing about markets. Usually, if people do want a thing, they'll pay for it. And that's a good message for us as well. Like, if it turns out no one wants East Empire expansion, clearly we've not hit the mark of what's actually valuable, because we want to make something cool and valuable. And, there's definitely a line to walk there. And we are a studio, I guess, now. So, there's multiple people who can pool our talents together and hopefully make something that resonates with the audience. Kez says, will you be behind the scenes for EEE Dolphin eventually for the NDA? Too scary. Okay, clearly I'm too tired. Let me reread that. Will you do a behind the scenes? Oh, okay, I get you. So, like, here's how we made it. I think we can do that. I'd have to check, but we can sort of show you, like, this is how we did things. This is why we did this. This is some design decisions behind it. I'm fairly sure we can talk about anything that's like ours and not directly kind of to do with the program. Yeah, Gaff's already streamed it, so we've showed the gameplay. I mean, obviously you can see that, but I see no reason that we can't talk about, like, the design behind it, like some of the decisions made. If that's an interesting stream for you, maybe I can do it at some point. We can play through it and I can talk about how we made it. But, if you've seen much and heard much of how we've made Sim Settlements 2, it's kind of the same process, really. So it's nothing majorly new. A lot of thought goes into it, but a lot of thought goes into SS2, so... Ember's... God, I can't read. Erica Ember. I knew I had to try Skyrim at some point. I'm not surprised it took a product from you guys to finally pull me in. Gotta support your super cool creative folks. Well, thank you. It's interesting to work on, like, a game that's the previous game to what you're used to working on. So things are familiar, but a bit different. So I had to, learn some Skyrim CK stuff. And it's a different CK, but it's similar. The one thing I do like about the older CK and how things are done in it is the dialogue system feels much more flexible in Skyrim. It allows you to do some more cool stuff. So when you're playing East Empire Expand... I can't even... You can tell how tired I am. I can't even remember the name of the thing we made. When you're playing East Empire Expansion, something that I might as well give you some commentary on it now. Something that I wanted to include was more roleplay, because I always thought there wasn't enough roleplay in Skyrim outside of sort of your headcanon roleplay, like, I'm going to be a thief this time, or I'm going to go join the Mages College. So I try to inject some of that just even into your general conversation you have. So, when you meet Shakar for the first time, you can be rude to him, you can be nice to him, you can just answer a question in a way that is correct to the type of character you're playing, and he will respond to that. And it's a small thing, but I love stuff like that in games. So I've tried to include some of that in it, and the Skyrim CK allows that, unlike the Fallout 4 CK, which is much more restrictive and definitely sort of railroads you into the types of responses you can give. So that's nice. I like that about the Skyrim CK. Kez was trying to make me do the EEE dolphin sound. Yeah, I'll practice. I'll practice on that. Alright, who's ready for some Fallout 4? That's what we're here to play today. If it launches. Let's see. Game overlay. And launch the game. Come on, Fallout. It's on the right screen. Yes! How's it going to launch, though? But yeah, if you have any questions, as always, at SuricMe in the chat so I can see them. It can be questions about Fallout, it can be questions about SS2, it can be questions about me, and now it can be questions about the East Empire expanded edition thing that we made. We only worked on it for a year. You know, it'd help if I remember what it was called. I think for the longest time we didn't call it East Empire Expanded. We just called it the East Empire Company. So that's what's in my head, and it trips me up every time. Let me just move over the YouTube window so I can still see what you guys are saying. Get over there. There we go. And lunchy for that. Let's continue on. Nick Garza says, do you use any F4SE mods in your game? I think we've got some. So I'm currently running with the, is it called Midnight Ride? Which is like a guide to sort of give you a good framework for building your mod build order off of. It's an older version of that, so it does have... No, this one isn't. I previously was using an older version of it, which had a mod that kind of broke things. It's been removed from it now, so I'd recommend it now that they've fixed that up. So I'm using that as a base, and then I've just got SS2 on top of that, and then some small gameplay tweaks, and then some SS2... what do we call them? Content packs, you know, like settlements and things. God, my brain is just not working tonight. Okay, we left off. Oh, I will also say, I've equipped myself. I took an opportunity when I was testing to make sure this all worked, to sort my inventory out, so we actually have some proper weapons now. It's all organized and ready to go, so that will help me not die as much. And I upgraded my armor, so what quest were we on? Okay, we did Hostile Takeover, so I think now we have to wait for the next quest to start. So in the meantime, we might as well go do side quest. Listen to Jake's private frequency. Is that a leftover from the previous quest? I think it is. So I think we need to travel to a good neighbor, which I don't think I've discovered yet. Nope. But we've got close. So for anyone who may be new, who's watching, I don't know what you're doing here, but welcome. What I do is I'm playing through the quests of Sim Settlements 2. With a little bit, because I kind of forget most of the time, and I just stop playing the game, with a little bit of commentary about what it went into designing quests, or stories about how the quest went. Ooh, run. Sorry, Piper. And so I will do my best to talk about some of the... Yeah. Oh. Get him! And I miss all my shots.
Who's there?
Okay, I'm just gonna run away. We don't do combat. We run away from combat. Yeah, so I'm gonna try my... Oh no, not a super mutant. I'm gonna do my goddamn best to talk about the quests. If I don't die horribly. Okay, run away. Run away. We don't want to fight you today. So right now, we are heading to do one of the optional side quests. I always get stuck here. I don't know why. Whenever I want to go to Good Neighbor, I take this route, where it's just a dead end, as you can see. We see Good Neighbor there, but we can't get to Good Neighbor. And if we try and go this way... Uh-oh. Where's my shotgun? Nope. There's a loot.
Normal for other journeys.
Okay, so you want to try and go to Good Neighbor, you think, oh, I'll just go over here. You aren't, they've blocked it off. It's so annoying. So you have to go all the way around, and I do this every time I'm trying to find Good Neighbor for the first time. Like, it's not possible to get there. I could cheat. I usually cheat, because I'm not going to go all the way around. Let's see if we can do it, though. It can't be that far. But it just irritates me every time. I always do that. Uh-oh. I hear noises. Oh, no. Okay, this is where we go. Okay, good. Now we just have to deal with the super mutants. What have we got? What have we got? No ammo. Fantastic. Okay, I reckon we can just run to Good Neighbor. Off we go.
What was that?
I fucking deal with those guys. Here we go. Good Neighbor. Ooh. Interesting little fact. I've walked the Freedom Trail. That's right, I've visited this place. And I've walked on this little thing for a small bit. It was interesting and weird. So we're gonna go to Good Neighbor. I didn't find Good Neighbor. Sadly. Oh, it's this guy. That's what I'm looking for.
Hey, hold up. Uh-huh. Insurance? That's right. It's personal protection, like.
Hope you made your peace.
Good job, Piper. I didn't need your help.
I like you already. Walk into a new place, make a show of dominance. Nice.
I'm gonna go to a
Neighbors
bar.
of the people, for the people. You feel me?
And that's how you do it. You shoot someone in the head and then you ask them about insurance.
Hancock says newcomers are welcome in the third rail. Go on in.
So this quest we're about to do is an interesting quest in terms of Sim Settlements 2 history. So it's just a... Is this gonna get me copyright struck?
Hey, how about another drink?
Let's risk it. So last time we played, it came from Planet X.
You there.
Ah,
We need to have a conversation.
no, we don't. We don't need to have a conversation.
Leave me alone.
You sure?
Yep.
I'm sure.
Get out of here.
Not interested.
Well,
If I see one more ghoul.
Yeah, we can move back a little bit. Hopefully the music gets muted. Okay. So last time we played, it came from Planet X, which is a quest that had at least 2 major rewrites. It just went through a bunch of people, and for each time it just wasn't working for what we needed, and so it got rewritten a bunch of times. The quest we're about to play now is a complete replacement for a quest called Some Like It Bot, I think, which is a play on Some Like It Hot. And I remember the outline of it roughly. It's you meet with a guy, I think, and he wants you to get a robot back that's been stolen by some raiders. And so you'd go, I think, to the Harbour Master Hotel. I think that was the location used. And once you got there, you could bargain with the raider to get the robot back. But it turns out it was a sex robot. So it's kind of like a Mr. Hansy, but it was an assault run, I think. And I forget how the quest goes after that. But that was the quest. And the implementer at the time did not like this quest. And to be fair, I can see why. It was definitely a quest where it's walking the line, and if it's not your cup of tea, then you're not going to like it. I wasn't too offended by it, but then I'm an edgy boy, so it takes a lot to shock me. But it was decided we'd get a rewrite for this. And so did I say editor? I meant implementer if I said editor. The implementer decided that she was going to rewrite this quest, and so that's the version we're going to play right now. And I suppose I no point in mincing names. It was Nika Cola, and she's the person who's brought in the team way back when, in the first episode where I explained it. Mostly for this, I was setting this up. So she was brought on to implement all of the sort of writing and quests and things, but there were loads of disagreements, lots of falling out, creative differences, if we want to be nice. If I don't want to be nice, she kind of wanted to take things over and cause a lot of turmoil. But in the end, we decided, you know what, creative differences, you go your way, we'll go our way. But we decided we want to keep this quest in. I was still, again, trying to take the high ground at this time. I was like, nah, we could just cut this and remove it because the quest wasn't finished, it still needed work. But, you know, let's be the bigger people here. Let's keep it in. So we had to keep it in, but it took some work to finish it because it actually wasn't finished. There was dialogue missing. I think there was implementation missing. So I think Cynical Bounce had to finish some of the writing and set up some of the like the quest logic. But it was kind of like it's kind of like what happens sometimes when people find cut content in a game, and then they have to
Thanks.
sort of reconstruct it from the bits and pieces that are there. So they're trying to restore content, but they're not entirely sure how it went. So I think there was some of that with this quest, where
You are such a sweetheart.
because it wasn't fully implemented, we had to do some guesswork. Because at this point, I don't think we were on speaking terms with Nika, so we couldn't really be like, "Hey, do you want to come back and finish that quest of yours?" It was like, okay, do we keep it in? Do we cut it? And we thought, you know, we'll keep it in. She did some work on this. It's not fair to just remove it. But we did have to do some guesswork. Random Wanderer. Is this the same writer who didn't like Jake? Yes. So it was Nika. She was brought on to implement the writing that had been done, and this was before I knew how to do any stuff in the CK, and Gaff was busy doing all the other stuff. But what ended up happening was she left, and Gaff just had to take over and sort of redo a lot of the stuff from scratch. But there was a few remnants of her work left over here and there. Some of it we saw in the Hub of the Problem quest, where there's remnants of that quest left over. They're not used. The quest was completely redone. But because we just used the previous version as a framework, there's small snippets of it left over. So it's kind of like quest archaeology. But this is mostly Nika's quest, and you know what? I'm gonna pay the devil its dues. I think she's an okay writer, so I think this quest is quite good. I like it. It's tainted, obviously, because bad experience with the person who sort of put it together. One thing I don't like about it, and I'll criticize, is it doesn't follow the standard vanilla formula for like how conversations go, how quests play out. So sometimes when you're having a conversation with a character, it branches off in a weird way that the vanilla game doesn't do. And that's something we definitely decided, like, we want this to integrate into vanilla, so we're going to stick to vanilla design principles as much as we can. This quest breaks it the most out of everything we've got in the game. And at some point, we'll probably go back and sort of try and polish it up and make it the same. So if you've ever played this before and noticed like conversations flow a little bit differently, it's because this was written by someone else and had a different design philosophy behind it. Not necessarily a bad philosophy, but different from vanilla. And that stands out because that's not what we were trying to do. So let's get to it. Let's begin this quest.
What?
Where
Another
is
one
he?
of you mercs looking for MacCready? He's in
Where's
the
Anton?
back room.
There he is.
Unless you're the bartender, I'm gonna need you to get out of my face.
Delightful fella. I'm going to call him an asshole.
Asshole. Didn't ask for your name, pal. Look, just tell me what you want. Are you lost or something? Lonely? Selling something?
I'm here to help you.
But who? Wait a minute. Ron? No way.
Is that hard to believe?
Is it so hard to believe?
Well, yeah. You met the guy, right? How about that? I figured he'd just taken my money and ran. Or waddled. Slithered, you know. Look, I'm sorry for being a jerk before. I wasn't exactly expecting good news to come walking through the door. Any door, really, but even less so in a place like this. Here's what I need. I have a sister, Audra. She's a good girl, but gullible, you know? She's fallen in with a raider gang, common rad trash led by a guy named Knox. They've been filling her head with chems and God knows what other kind of ideas. And I won't allow my sister to be a junkie. I can't. She's better than that. This family is better than that. And she's all the family I got left. I've tracked them to the Harbor Master Hotel. Ever seen it? It's a trash heap. Suitable enough for scum like Knox. But not for Audra. Come with me. Help me get my sister back. Please.
So, something there we saw, which was another sort of breaking from our design philosophy, was when designing these quests, we, by that I mean everyone but Nika, would design most of the quests in a program called Twine, which is very good for sort of creating a tree-like structure for you to design a quest around that flows like something does in the CK. So that's why we use that. Nika didn't like that, so she used her own thing, tried to get us to use it, but it was more complicated and seemed to take more time, so I was like, nah. We just stuck with Twine. It's simple, it does the job, it's fast. And you can also import and export from it quite easily, which is very useful. But what we have is a rule I created called the 5-card rule. So on Twine, we have things on a card, and then that card can connect to other cards, and that's how you make like a little branching tree dialogue thing. And the dialogue limit in Fallout, I'm not going to remember it now, I think is it 200? 200 characters? There's a dialogue limit that the base game tends to follow for each sort of chunk of dialogue. And so those fit quite nicely onto a card. And so I figured, okay, no more than 5 cards can be spoken, or 5 cards amount of dialogue can be spoken before the player can interject. Because otherwise, characters ramble on for too long, you become disinterested, you just sort of get distracted. So this is a rule we follow. Never any more than 5 cards. We aim for maybe 3 is the golden amount before the player can interject. But this is something I think this quest breaks occasionally. We break it occasionally as well, so I'm not going to pretend we're saints on this. But you may notice it a bit more of this quest, again, because different design philosophies from different writers. I'll just catch up with chat here. That was a sick burn about Nika. Oh, I could say a lot worse. But again, you don't want to be an arse about these things, even though I could be. But I don't want to be. Well, I do want to be, but yeah, it's complicated. Nick Carter says, in Kidgas stream with Teresa's VA, there was an idea to make Teresa a possible love interest. Do you know if this will ever happen? So I wrote Teresa, and that is something I've had in the back of my mind, and it's something I definitely thought about doing during Chapter 3. But the problem is, as far as I'm concerned, we haven't had enough time with her personally yet. And so unlike Jake, who you've had a lot of time to connect with and get to know, and therefore sort of it feel good that you've now maybe started a relationship with him, you didn't have that with Teresa as much. So I've delayed it. My intent, hopefully, is for some of the HQ characters. I want each of them to have their own private quest. Because now that the main quest is over with, we can now have a quest with them, and there's much more freedom. Whilst if these quests could happen whilst the main storyline's going on, it's much more restrictive because, you know, they need to be there and they need to do certain things. So I'm hoping to get a Teresa quest in. If there's a romance in that, I can't say. There might be. I've considered it. I'm not going to commit to it. Maybe it will just won't feel right when I write it. Maybe I will. But she's definitely one of the characters I did consider writing a romance for. Unfortunately, so far all we've got is Jake. Gosh darn it. Oh no. This is a character that always gets a bullet from me, no regrets. Anton, yeah, he's a bit of a jerk. I think that was the point of the character. Cal loves Twine, good. Twine is good, it's rather good. It's basic, it's got its flaws, it could be better, but for what it is, I think it does a great job. With the folks who have ADHD like me, thank you for that rule. Yeah, it's a rule that you kind of notice the base game follows to a degree. Like, there'll never be too much dialogue from a character before the player can interject with something. And sometimes that interjection is just a, tell me more, go on. Like, it offers nothing as far as giving the player actually something of substance to say, but it breaks the conversation up and also re-engages you into it. So I think that's either something that Bethesda noticed at a certain point and said, oh, we need to do this, or they knew it off the bat and so designed all of the quests with that in mind when writing the dialogue. I'm sure this is something they figured out in like one of the previous games, where it's like you need to have that player interaction, or again, they get bored, you get distracted. So yeah, it's our version of that is the 5-card rule. Random Wanderer says, I played this quest on my first run, skipped it the second, mostly because downtown sucks. Yeah. It's one of those things I'm hoping they get fixed with the remastered or enhanced edition or whatever they're gonna release for Fallout 4 one of these days. It's meant to be out this year. I don't know if it will make it out this year because this year is rapidly ending. I always feel terrible for Anton, but yeah, he chose his fate, and I pick the less violent options. Well, we're here to talk about behind the scenes and what goes into making a quest. So I remember something that was brought up during one of the editing meetings that we used to do back when Nika was on the team. And usually it was me reading through a quest I've written and then getting input from her, Cynical, and Gaff. But this time it was a quest she wrote. So I think this is like one of the one suggestions I made that probably actually got brought up on was originally Anton was a lot more aggressive and sort of unlikable, which was what Jake almost was as well. And I think I made the suggestion of like, you should make him a bit more reasonable in terms of you can understand where he's coming from, and then maybe it's a bit of a difficult choice because the quest is called Grey Matters. It's meant to be there's no clear solution. However, I think there kind of is a clear solution. Obviously, you're not meant to go with Anton. You're meant to go with Audra and Nox. So I think Nika had a very specific story to tell here, and she wanted that to come through. And so I'm guessing that's why the quest very much railroads you in a certain direction. That's the outcome she wanted. So it isn't really that grey of a matter. It's kind of a more sort of dark grey matter. You know, you kind of know which direction you're meant to go in. Which is nothing wrong with that in terms of writing a story and it going a way you want it to. But it kind of defeats the point of it, where it's meant to be kind of a bit ambiguous of who's the right person to go with. Because I think if I was to rewrite this quest, which I'm not going to, we're gonna leave it as is. But if I was to rewrite it, I'd make it much more ambiguous of whether Audra, is better on the drugs or off the drugs. At the moment, of course, on the drugs, she's lucid. Like clearly, she's better on them. But it'd be interesting if there was a trade-off for both ways. So it really is a grey matter, and maybe you would be justified in going Anton's path sometimes. It would also be a gameplay choice, because I think this was something that we decided on at a certain point. I don't know if it got implemented. When we sort of took over this quest and had to implement it, I think we decided that if you have a drugged up Audra, she has different stats, special stats, than if you have a lucid Audra. And that idea was also kind of like, because it's meant to be a grey matter, you could kind of pick which kind of Audra you want for a build that would be best to, go on maybe a municipal plot or a martial plot, or, because she'd have slightly different stats or something. I don't know if that got implemented in. I think that's something we decided when we took the quest over, and I could be wrong. That might be in the game. Cal, go test that. You don't have to. But I think Audra is meant to have different stats, depending on which way you do the quest. It may not be doable. It may mean you have to duplicate the character, and that's just a whole bunch of headaches, so maybe it just never got put in. Random Wanderer says, yes, please, personal quest for the HQ characters. These are the guys on my new Normandy crew. Well, Mass Effect's definitely an inspiration. All the old BioWare games I love, I played, huge influences on me. So if you ever see anything that seems BioWare-like in my writing, it's because I'm trying to imitate the greats before the dark times. Cal says, yes, I think that's how it's done. And it's by duplication, yep. So there are two orders that exist, and you have to get the one you want. Okay, that's good. That made it in. But let's get back to the quest, shall we? Let's go, Anton.
Sounds good. Let's go.
All right, I'll follow your lead. And look, I really appreciate what you're doing for me, but don't underestimate these guys. And Audra, well, let's just keep her safe. She never could manage that on her own.
Off we go. So Anton is joining us. He promises he won't get in the way. Oh, Cal says, I don't know if that's in. I'm just saying that's how it would work. Okay. Like, that's how I assume it would work. I don't know if that would mean it's not worth it, because there may be, like, huge amounts of complications by having two versions of a recruitable character. So maybe that just got cut because, yeah, it's way more effort, and, like, so many things could go wrong, and most people wouldn't care or notice, so... Okay, we're going to probably deal with those super mutants. Did Piper just... Nope, okay. Thought I just heard her dying. Must have been someone else. Okay, where are we, and where's the harbor master? Okay, it's this way, I guess. This way and around. Okay. Uh-oh. Yep.
Hey! They're here!
Get him. Good job, Anton. Where's my shotgun? There it is. Okay, there's always a ghoul here who scares me. But I know he's here somewhere. There he is. Still alive, of course. There we go. This is why I like mods that give you sort of a headshot equals death. Uh-oh. This is the one that scares me, okay. See, headshot should always be death. Instant death. It's I think a common critique of Bethesda games. Enemies do tend to be bullet sponges, especially on if you put the difficulty up. I hate that.
Much ado, Barrel!
Yeah.
Watch your digits, Blue! Come to that.
There we go. Oh, they hit hard. Yes, I usually have mods that sort of rebalance the damage a little bit, but we're playing more vanilla than I usually do when I'm doing a playthrough. Okay, I don't want to fight the super mutants, so we'll try and sneak around. Does this guy have a stim pack? No. Yep. Okay, how far away are we? No, okay, we're quite far. Might as well run. Run past the things, hope they don't shoot me. This is a very pretty game. Uh-oh. Don't think I've got ammunition for my rifle. Okay, we're gonna run, and then we're gonna... And I've got no action points. Who needs action points? Gunners. I've already made enemies of them. Oh, it's Anton. I almost shot him. About to kill me. Wait. I don't want to fight a turret. Oh, that's bullshit. Okay, I'm just gonna run away. I hate it when a prop sort of gets in the way of you firing, but they can fire at you. No. Step back. Did you get him, Anton? No, he's running away. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna sneak. And then we're gonna use the legendary effect. We did it! And then we heal myself. And hopefully no super mutants. Run, run, run. Nope, 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 nope! Not more of them. Okay, he's too far away. Oh, wait.
You can hop cars up!
I'll let them come to me. Or I'll get impatient. That works too. We could enter. I don't think anyone's going to follow us. Yeah, let's sneak in.
Place looks empty. Let's take a look around, see if we can figure out where they went.
So I think we get a quest objective to search around. But I've seen people get stuck on this bit.
When I get my hands on Knox.
It's not really clear what you're meant to do. Let's see if I can remember.
Hey there.
Okay, Anton, hey there. Guessing that's all he has to say and nothing else.
Hello.
Yep, okay, so it's just a general greeting. So I think... Are we meant to get a key from here? Or am I thinking of something else? I think we can just go upstairs.
This place is disgusting.
I think maybe in my notes I decided
not gonna live like this anymore.
we add some like interaction points around here because you're told to search. And most people don't even think to go do this elevator thing. They've been told to search, so they look around here. So I think maybe if we put some points of interest to just look at random objects, and I thought, oh, we put one on the key, and it's got a room key, and then that kind of points you up to a room. So that's one idea I have to hopefully make this a bit more obvious of what you're meant to do. And sort of hold the player's hand. Because,
you know?
sometimes you need to do that.
She knew how to take care of herself. But this place, and Knox.
Okay, Anton's just talking to himself now.
It's a new love even for her.
I think it's this room here. Like this is I think this is a result of the quest being unfinished in terms of the implementation. So there's like no clear there's no clear reason to come to this specific spot. And hang on, let's see what our objectives are right now. Search the hotel room for clues as to where Ardra and Knox's whereabouts. Okay. So something you can do for some reason is you can interact with Order Stash, you can spike it with Addictol, or some Psycho. And that'll just make a freak out. I think it has no bearing on anything, it's just a random thing to do. Which I kind of like. It's just, you can be awful for no reason. It's kind of funny. But we're not gonna do that,
Did super
because
mutants decorate this place?
we're not that evil. Nick Carter, did you write the content for Lamont? Yes. So, good rule of thumb is if it's main quest, I wrote it. Outside of the Nightingales and the... Oh god, I can't... The CPD. Couldn't remember the letters there, because I'm tired. The Nightingales were written by Cynical Bounce, and the CPD were written by ND Cowdy. And there are two major side factions, other than the NLTC, who come in Chapter 3, who are also written by Cynical Bounce. But most of the side quests are written by someone else. All of the Settlers are written by someone else. Outside of Settlers, you get through a main quest, so like Starge, Hubert, and Teresa. I wrote those guys. So we read this terminal. I think this gives us clues as to where they are, although you don't have to actually read anything. I think you just have to look at the terminal. Nope, maybe you do have to read something. Okay, is it the last one? Solution. Do I have to read all of them? Okay, you just have to read a few of them. I guess one of the terminal entries has where they've gone. But here's the thing as well that I need to figure out, like, can we polish this up? We're coming here looking for Audra, and to find Audra, we have to look to clues of where they've gone. It's all follows so far. But by finding the clue, they just return to the hotel? So, like, why did I have to find the clue? That seems dumb. I'm being mean and critical about this because this is what Nika did to me, so I'm going to do it right back in return. So I don't know what we do to fix that without, like, doing a major rewrite. But it's something I've got to think on, because it doesn't really make logical sense of why doing this would lead to that. So maybe there's something else we do there. Again, the quest was somewhat unfinished, and maybe that this isn't at all how it's meant to play out. I don't want to be too critical if... Ooh, some caps. if that's like not at all how this was meant to happen. But either way, us looking at that terminal entry means we now need to go investigate downstairs for some reason. So let's go do it.
Ground floor.
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Anton? What the hell are you doing here?
Putting what's left of my family back together. Back away from my sister. Do it now. Do it slowly. Or my friend and I will paint the wall with whatever brains you haven't already fried.
Jesus. You're gonna kill someone. Listen, please. I know what he must have told you, but Audra, she's not a junkie. She's sick.
She's strung out. Just look at her. God knows how many chems he's got in her system.
There's nothing in her system right now. That's why we came back here. She forgot her medication.
Medication? Don't let this son of a bitch fool you. He's manipulated my sister, and now he's trying to do it to you, too.
No light. None.
So, random tidbit, I'm fairly sure the voice of Nox is also the voice of Mansfield. So yeah, this is obviously some weirdness going on here. This is a bit where the rules of how you engage in conversation compared to vanilla and SS2 is very different. And a bit jarring. So I don't know how we could fix this to be more in line with how the base game goes. Or if we should, I don't know. It's something I've got on my cards to someday do once we're done with all the other stuff that's more important than this. Because like the quest plays out, it does what it's meant to, but it's a bit confusing sometimes. Let's talk with Nox, I guess.
Can I ask some questions?
Yeah. Sure. Sorry. It's hard to think with a gun pointed at my head.
More! Again, this breaks normal convention, so it's kind of weird. Perception, not normal raiders.
Sounds like this isn't some normal group of raiders either.
Is that what he told you? Jesus, that's different. The last time Anton found us, he told the guy he hired that I was a cult leader or something. I'm not a raider. And neither are my friends. We're just people trying to do the right thing for someone we care about.
If something's wrong, maybe I can help.
She's not wrong, but she is different. The jet doesn't work on her like it does you or me. For her, it slows down her thoughts to where she can understand them, make sense of them. Without it, well, she's like this. Up for days, writing on the walls, pacing the floors. She doesn't think to eat. And if we've got clean water handy, she doesn't think to bathe.
Ooh, the 5-card rule is screaming at me.
Seeing her like that. But if it were up to her brother, what you're seeing right now, is how she would live the rest of her life. If you could even call it that.
Never mind, as I just nod at you. Let's talk to Audra.
Can I ask you some questions?
Some. You can ask me some questions. You can ask me a number of questions, but some is not a number until you made a specified sum. You can do that. You can look at me and you can see something, but you can't see that, can you? Haha.
Uh-huh. You're crazy.
Great. You're completely nuts.
Structurally unsound, inside and there. There's only one pillar and it's damaged, and it's not enough. Excessive mass and surface area, 2 more beams, each 45 degrees from center mass. Build them, ignore them, or take them from somewhere else. Someone else. Someone dead.
Are you happy here?
Happy here because I'm not there when I'm here and can't be here.
Uh-huh.
An object in 2 separate time.
Uh-huh.
But I solved. I know the number.
Talking to you is pointless. Can I ask you some questions?
What else could you possibly need to know right now?
More.
You haven't told me half of what I need to know.
I told you what you needed to know, when you needed to know it. Anything beyond that was none of your business, and still isn't.
I have no idea what's going on here.
Audra is different, not wrong. I'm counting on you to know the difference. Don't make me regret it.
See, here's where it could almost be interesting, where that's an interesting sort of stance to take. Like, obviously, Audra is mentally ill. Like, that's meant to be like what the quest is doing. I like that line from Anton though. It's like, she's not wrong, she's just different. And that, if you kind of toned Audra down and made her a bit more, obviously, whacked out and weird, but like, she can at least kind of exist that way. Like, again, it would make things more grey. It would be more of a Grey Matters quest, and it would make it more interesting to a player who wouldn't know if they've made the right decision at the end. I think that would make the quest more interesting, but I didn't write this one, so... Nick says, the guy who wrote Audra's lines might have been high when he wrote this. So this was written by Nika Cola, a gal. And I could be wrong. This is speculation. This is writer's speculation. But I suspect Audra may have been somewhat of a... I don't want to use the word self-insert, because that's usually a much more negative sort of character type. But I can't think of a better word. So I think Audra may be like a self-insert author's sort of perspective. And I only say that because Audra gets so much focus here. And so it seems like this is a kind of look at me character because the character is me kind of thing. And I can say this because at some point in SS2, I'm going to have my own self-insert. And I don't know if it's going to be cringe or hilarious. I'm hoping maybe a bit of both. Demand proof. Give me some proof, Anton.
If you expect me to believe you, I want proof.
I owe you exactly as much proof as I owe him. Need me to spell out how much that is?
Anton, suddenly I think I'm going to side against you. Never mind.
Now I don't know what to think.
I didn't bring you here to think.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't. Please, let me tell you what's really happening here.
I don't know what to think. Do I talk to Nox again? Again, this is it's a bit confusing.
Can I ask some questions?
I'm guessing I need to ask a specific thing to trigger
Sure.
the quest to continue on us, maybe.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, so we need to... That's it. So we need to talk back to them again and then say we believe them at this point. Again, it's a weird structure here, and it's not necessarily bad, but it's very different from everything else, so it's kind of confusing. Is there any more in the more? Demand proof. Never mind. Silence. I'm just staring at him.
Can I ask you some questions?
What else could you possibly need to know right now?
His face is so smooth.
Is there anything else I should know?
All you need to know is that there is nothing wrong with my sister. There isn't now, and there never has been. No matter what this son of a bitch says.
Now I know what the right choice is meant to be. I'm gonna make the wrong choice.
I believe you.
No, you're making a mistake. You have to listen to me, please.
No mistake. I hope you're sober, because I want you to feel what's about to happen to you.
Yeah, we're the good guys, Anton. Let's get him.
Someone cover me!
Your days are numbered, Nox, you evil raider. Bam! Your raiding days are through. Get him! Get him!
It's done. Let's find out how to get the hell out of here.
We did it, Anton. We saved the day. God, we're good people. Get out of here, raider scum. No? Alright.
Better in our hands anyway.
Now I think we need to go find Audra. Beep, 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 beep. Are we the bad guys? We're not the bad guys, are we? Nah. We're the good guys.
I think I heard her go in here.
Anton? What are you... What happened? Where's Knox? Wait, I remember there was a shooting in... Knox! What happened to him? Anton, what did you do?
The same thing I always do for this family. What had to be done.
You son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch,
You
Anton.
had no right,
Bunch
none.
of junk.
Just when I thought I'd gotten far enough away from you.
You're lucky I caught up with you before the chems did. That junk, what you've been doing here, it's not you. You've been poisoning yourself so you could pretend to be normal, like everyone else. But you're not like everyone else. You're my crazy, stubborn, brilliant sister, and I was never gonna allow anyone or anything to change that.
I feel kind of like a third wheel here.
You don't get it. You never did. If you knew what it was like.
This fella's offered us work. Good work, too.
Yeah, the best work.
It'll be just like the old days with Mom and Pop. Keeping busy, building up sweat and houses, whatever he needs. Because that's what we need. Soon, that junk will be completely out of your system, and all of this will be behind us. Before we head out, I want to say thank you. For helping keep my family together. For everything.
Welcome, Anton. You're a good
We
guy.
won't let you down, friend.
Let's send them to Starlight. The Ron. Ask the Ron about his shop, and he'll eventually tell you about his recruitment services. Because he's a good guy.
I'd like to trade some items.
Oh!
Well, I think we ended this quest the best way we could.
He doesn't lie. He just sees someone else.
Cal says, Cirque's going to be cancelled by the end of Chapter 3 run. Hey! Anton said that's the right thing to do. That was a grey matter. There was no right or wrong, so whatever I did was the right thing, right? Right? Also, I've never seen anyone do that ending, because of course you meant to side with Nox. That evil Raider Nox, where is he? There he is. Your raiding days are through. And you, Wastelander.
Hi. Yes? Huh?
You just... Yeah, okay, let's go. We're the good guys. There you go. There's a interesting quest in terms of... it stands out a little bit. It's got some interesting history to it. But now we're going to fast travel back to Jake and just hang out there for a bit until the next quest triggers. Cyric is trolling. I would never troll. I'd never do that. And let's wait 24 hours. Yeah, it's that's a quest where, again, it's an interesting one in terms of what it means to me because of what it represents. And it's a shame it didn't get fully finished because, like, how it played out there, maybe that's not how it was meant to be. Like, Nika left the team before it was done. So we had to decide, do we keep it in and try and finish it? Or do we just cut it out? And obviously we decided to keep it, but it definitely needed some extra work there. Cynical. I didn't write Grey Matters, but I wrote Order of Settler lines. I actually prefer her rambling ones. Yeah, like I was saying before, a lot of the dialogue outside the quest, and I think some in the quest as well, wasn't finished. Could be wrong about that. I think the terminal entries didn't exist, so I think Cynical had to write those. I'm going to be mean to Nika a little bit again. So by the time we decided to part ways, and that Gaff would take over the implementation for Chapter 1, he was looking through sort of what had been done in Chapter 1. And it turns out very little had actually been done in Chapter 1, and almost all of the focus actually had been put into Grey Matters, because that was Nika's quest. So, you know, call me crazy, I don't think she had Sim Settlement's best interest at heart. I think she was more concerned in sort of doing her own thing. Cyric is the morally correct at all times. Yes. All times. Whatever I say, that's the moral thing. Cynical said, yep, she wrote the terminal entries. Okay, I think we just got a radio call from Aiden. What is Aiden saying? Makes sense, Aiden.
This has been a pre-recorded message.
That Aiden. Okay, so I think... Yep, Jake's already in there, but we don't know that. Let's go find Jake. Oh, hi, Lupe.
Hey.
Hi, if you're looking for Jacob, I think he's at the old church across the road.
How is he doing?
I don't know. He doesn't seem as chipper as he used to be. Maybe I'm just misremembering. It has been a while since we last saw each other.
You look like you're keeping busy.
I didn't know running settlements could be so much work. There's just so much to keep track of. It's no wonder you and Jacob needed that hub thing. I hope you find it again soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's go find Jake. So this, I'd say, is probably the first of Tom's great Jake performances. He just, he nailed this so well for what I wanted from this scene.
Hey there.
Oh, hey, Slick. Tell me, you ever used to come to places like this? You know, before you were frozen?
Oh, where's it gone? There it is.
I'm just visiting.
Yeah, me too. Although, it does feel kind of weird standing here. Almost as if the building itself is passing judgment on me or something.
Random Wanderer asks, have you heard of anyone just ever shooting Jake or choosing not to let him save Laura? I usually want to see all the options, but I just can't do it. Interesting enough, I was watching someone do a playthrough, and it'd been a while since they played, and they couldn't quite remember a lot of the details about like what was happening and why they were off to rescue Jake. So by the time they went to find him in the Robco HQ, they're all set to shoot him because stupid Jake leaving and getting himself maybe kidnapped by the gunners. What a stupid guy. I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to shoot him for being so dumb. But even he, by the time he got to Jake, couldn't bring himself to actually shoot him. So no, I've seen no one take that path. And it's interesting. I thought at least someone... I'm sure someone has, but they just haven't streamed it, so I haven't seen it. I thought more people would do it just to be horrible. But it turns out it's impossible to be mean to Jake. I'm a night person. I know something's wrong with you, Jake.
You're beating around the bush.
Yes.
Is there something you're trying to tell me?
I'm very perceptive.
No hiding anything from you, is there? Say, you recall way back when you came to my hardware store, asking what else ASAMs could do? I asked you a question in return. I asked why you were doing all this. ASAMs, settlements, the whole thing. Do you remember what you told me?
Now, if I was intelligent enough, I could remember this, but I'm not, so I don't remember. Nick says, I can't wait to do Lupe's and Teresa's personal quests. I can't wait to get them in the game. Both of them have had... Lupe's had a personal quest for the longest. I wrote hers quite a while ago. I need to update it and change it before we get it in. But I will say, both the hooks for Lupe and Teresa's quests and what they involve are already in the game. Both of them are probably somewhat cryptic, but with hindsight, you'll be like, oh, I see, okay. At least I hope so. I think one will be more obvious than the other. Nick says, it was a popular theory that Lamont was Jake's daughter. Was that ever considered? No. I'm not sure if it's because I didn't write something clearly enough, or people skipped over things or forgot, but the time frame of Jake losing track of Laura and then coming to the Commonwealth, it's less than a year. So if Laura was Lamont, she'd be very, very young. But I always wanted Lamont to have ties to Vault-Tec, and so she had to come from that vault, and so, yeah, it couldn't have been Laura. Interesting, like, if I could go back and rewrite things and set all that stuff up, it could be a way it was taken, but it also seemed kind of obvious, which is probably... that's why you thought about it, because it's obvious and you're dumb. I didn't mean it like that, but as soon as I said it, I was like, ah, damn it. It's obvious, so it's like the first thing you think of, and it's a writing rule that whatever you think of the first thing, like, get rid of it. Because if you think of it, everyone's going to think of it. And if it's meant to be sort of a mystery or a thing that you don't want revealed, if you thought of it, someone else is going to think of it. So, like, first idea, put it aside, come up with something else. It could have been a good idea, if that's the path we went down, though. No, I take it back. It's a terrible idea. How dare you think that? Cal says he'd be like 10 when she was born. Yeah, the timeline wouldn't match up. I don't remember, Jake. I don't remember what we're talking about. I don't remember anything. I am dumb.
Sorry, no.
Well, I remember. I didn't know if you really meant that. And honestly, I didn't care.
Oh.
All I saw before...
I think we got a line missed there, Cal. So I said I don't remember what it was because I wasn't intelligent enough. Jake is then meant to say, well, I remember, and then he's meant to repeat what I said. No, wait, no. Scratch it. It's not a bug, but it is something we need to do. I use the cheat holotape to skip ahead. And it mustn't be recorded what option you pick. So, very small thing. Might be so small it never gets added. So yeah, Gaff needs to add in the question that will pop up when you skip ahead of like, hey, what did you tell Jake your reason for rebuilding the Commonwealth or whatever it is, or building settlements is. Oh, Cal's already ahead of me. I don't remember Jake, like when Gaff forgot Laura's name. It happens when you skip casting, like, yeah. You're already ahead of me. But that is a somewhat important thing we should add at some point because it is a... it's something that Jake will take notice to and therefore will affect the led by example quest. So, probably important enough that we ask the player that. But it's not a bug. It's because we cheated and skipped.
For me was someone useful. Someone who could help me towards my goals. Someone I could use.
I will ask if we can do a pop-up. Yes. Again, it's not the biggest problem in the world. I thought it was for a second there, but then I realized, no, it's because we cheated and skipped, and so it doesn't get recorded. What are you talking about, Jake?
Help you with what, exactly?
Despite what some might think, I'm no goody two-shoes.
He's talking about Aiden.
Oh, sure, I'll go on and on about rebuilding the Commonwealth, bringing back civilization, but those are just means to an end. All this, everything I've done, it's all been in the effort to bring my daughter back to me. That's all I really cared about.
Jake, you monster.
But then, I met you. And suddenly, my actions were making a real difference in people's lives. Good and bad. And now with everything that's going on, the gunner attacks, losing the comm hub, I'm not so sure anymore.
What do you mean?
I don't think I want to talk about Laura right now. I will explain what I meant, just not now.
I never realized you'd lost hope like that.
I don't think I'm quite at that stage just yet, but I may be close. Look, I'm trying, Slick. I really am. But this is more than I signed up for. I never expected to be taking on someone like the Gunners. I don't know if I have it in me to do this. I'm no savior of the Commonwealth. I'm not you.
Gosh, Tom gives a good performance there. Suck it up, Jake.
Look, we've got a lot more important concerns right now than your feelings. All right?
You're right. You don't need this right now. I'm sorry. You didn't come all the way here just to hear me bellyache. What's up? You need my help with something?
That depends. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I've been better. But right now, I'd rather hear about what you got going on.
How'd you end up here?
I needed a break from the radio. Coordinating all our settlements manually, well, it's a lot to keep track of. Went outside to grab a breath of fresh air and realized I'd never been in here before. Kind of weird considering it's just across the street. And once I was in here, just started thinking about stuff. But never mind that now. What do you need?
Listen.
That's a lot of interference. I wonder what's causing it.
So much interference
If
you
need me to
can't
clean up
even
that
hear
signal,
it.
I reckon I could get it done. Follow me.
Let's go, Jake. Has Edmund just been... Okay, no, skeleton. Okay. I thought Edmund's just been standing there listening to us the whole time. But it was a skeleton. It's okay. Take your time, Jake. No rush. Erica says, "Make up your mind. Does his feelings matter or not?" I'm messing with him. He doesn't know what to expect from me. That's how I can just manipulate him and make him do what I want. He's a
Okay,
mess.
short stuff. I can take over again now. Thanks for watching the radio.
Hey, I'm not that short. And are you sure? I can keep going for a few more hours.
Nah, it's all right. I got something I need to do anyway. So, shift that pint-sized keister of yours.
Okay, if you say so. But if you keep it up with all this short stuff, I'll find a footstool so I can bop you on the nose.
All right, let's find that radio signal.
Get out of the way, shorty.
Here we are. Okay, gonna try switching the receiver from amplitude to frequency. Signal might be weaker, but should have less interference. All right, think we got
that's how
something.
radios work.
It's me.
I should have checked
Aiden.
that up.
I got news. Believe it or not, Algernon came through for us. We've been shadowing a squad of gunners. We think they may know where the comm hub is. But this gunner squad, they've been acting kinda odd. On edge. Like they're getting ready for something. Come meet us at Chestnut Hillock Reservoir. Don't be long.
Oops.
This has been a
Broke your radio, Jake.
pre-recorded message. Message repeats in 3 seconds.
Well, how about that? I knew we could trust Algernon. But maybe Aiden really is on our side as well.
You sound troubled.
Let's just say, I'm not sure how much I trust our new friend just yet. But does sound like he's onto something with the hub. Maybe you should go check in with him, see what he's found. Just don't get your hopes up, alright? For all we know, his lead might be a dud. Or he's just messing with us. You never tell with a guy like him.
Yeah. Aiden does suck. You're right, Jake. Okay, I am low on health. Let's eat some food before we go. Tasty cram. More food. Instamash. And delicious water. There we go. We're good. Okay. Doop, 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 doop. Let's go there. Fast travel. So, something, again, a small polish thing that I'd love to have in, but might be a while, and may not be doable, and might just be more effort than it's worth. Originally, when I wrote this, I had it so you could... Did I hear a Yogwai? Okay, I do. And I'm a bit scared. I'm very scared. We're gonna save. Well, this is interesting. The bloatfly just spitting at the Ogwai, which is doing nothing to defend itself. Is it taking damage? I think it is. We'll just watch this. Look at the poor thing. It's getting all those weird little grub things into it. That's disgusting. Oh, and here comes a blood bug to ruin my day.
I think it sees us!
Okay. Sneer we'll save the Yaguai. This apparently invincible cloak. We saved you, bear. Saved you to die by my hand. That was silly. Yeah, so originally when I wrote this quest, I had wanted it so you can just run straight to the vaults before reading the note.
Who could do something like that?
Because really, like, you'd be able to do that in real life. I'm just gonna save and just check that. So, where's the vault? There it is. Because, like, right now, the gunner should be here, and Aiden should be here, and maybe Algernon too. But I think in trying to set up the quest logic, it's kind of it's not worth it to have it. So it bugs me because like they should be here right now. But to trigger that, you have to go find the note first, and then the note yells at you and says, "You idiot! You were too slow. You didn't make it here in time." But I did because I metagamed. It's a small thing, but it's something I'd like to hopefully one day get in. Okay, I'll read the note. You took too long. The gunner squad is making a move. They're heading to Vault 81. Meet there ASAP. Love, Aiden. Okay.
Come here, little guy. Ooh, got a bat or something?
See, now they've all spawned. Take that.
Hello. That's how it's done.
Time. The gunners, the squad we were following, they were stragglers from a strike team. They're trying to take this vault. The leader already made it inside. He's the one we think has the comm hub intel. We'll make sure no more gunners get past. You get in there and get that intel.
I want to talk to Algernon. He's invisible.
Excuse me.
Not now. More Wes's gunners could be on the way.
Who said that? Now let's see if a line's playing correctly. Get ready, Cal. Maybe time to take more notes.
Malfunction in vault door cycling sequence.
So right now,
Please contact your
we're not
vault
actually
tech
in the
maintenance
vanilla cell of Vault 81.
representative
This
for
is a
service.
duplicate cell that we created so we can have this little thing here, and then the vault doors are open. And as you can see, they got in by hacking a Pip-Boy and using that to override the thing. Now, if things are working properly, Mansfield should have something extra to say.
Warning. Vault integrity compromised.
Because we gave
Please
him the
contact your
note
vault
from the
tech
gunners
maintenance
and informed him that
representative
they've been
immediately.
drugging the vaults, making them a bit more dozy, a bit more subdued, because they were planning to have an attack.
Hold your fire! They're friendly. Please, you must help us. The vault is being besieged by wasteland mercenaries.
I can see that.
We tried to stop them, but there were just too many. I don't know how they did it, but they forced the vault door open. Before our security forces could even react, 5 whole groups made it down to the lower levels. I need to get down there, but I can't take any of the vault security. They're all needed here to defend the entrance. Could you come with me? Please? I can't do this alone.
Ooh, Cal, it looks like it didn't fire. So, if you hand the note over to Mansfield... Oh, maybe that's why. Okay, so, remember last time he didn't take the note off you? Maybe that's why. Cal says, didn't that warning note not work, though? He couldn't take it out of your inventory. Yes, so... I'm fairly sure just doing that dialogue options should set a condition that you hand it over. But maybe because he doesn't take it, it's not working properly. So maybe that's why. But if you hand over the note successfully, which we'll get in one day, he's meant to take the note from you. When you talk to him here, he won't say that the gunners got past before the vault security even noticed. He'll say the vault security actually noticed and put up a fight. And there's meant to be less dead vault security around because they were more alert. I don't think that bit got implemented. But the dialogue at least is meant to be there. It might just be because I'm watching on my TV, but Mansfield's eyes are stunning right now. I think that's one of the mods I've installed. I don't know if that's base game that makes it all blurry in the background, but it does seem to be making certain colors and things pop. Or it could be just a texture mod I have, maybe. Yeah, there's Cal. It's modded. What do you need my help with, Mansfield?
And why should I help you?
Because...
Yep, it's a texture mod.
Well, because I asked
I think it's Eyes of Beauty, maybe?
Because people might die otherwise.
Could be wrong.
Look, if you want money, I'll pay you.
And do what exactly?
What do you mean, do what? Shoot the bad guys. That's what you all do out there in the waste, isn't it? Shoot each other? Please, I just need help. I have to stop these mercenaries before they hurt anyone else.
I'm not sure it is Eyes of Beauty. I can look that up for you later. It's that one or like the second most popular eye one. It's whichever one gives you the more true to vanilla eyes, but like enhanced. I guess I'll help you, Cedric.
Yeah, I guess.
I know I'm asking a lot from someone who doesn't live here. Thank you for helping. Follow me. I'll open the elevator for you.
Off we go. What's that patrol talking about? Now, will Mansfield say his line? I think he does. I think I've already tested this. Nope. Hello, Mansfield.
Hi.
Doesn't say it yet.
Up there, look. In the Overseer's office. We have to save her.
Possible breach.
The dead body got in my way.
All home residents report to designated safe zones.
Oh, I'm rolling ammo. On the way, Mansfield. So it does look like something has been tweaked since the last time Gaff played this. So Mansfield used to run away like really quickly as soon as combat started. And that's because his bravery level separated. But you know, kind of lame that he asks for your help and then hides. So we bumped up his bravery, so he'll actually fight. It looks like that's working. He's engaging, which is good. He's meant to do that here. He's not meant to hide.
Lock and load! Get some! Where'd they go? Engaging hostile!
System warning.
Did it.
Please alert your nearest
I'm gonna
vault
test something.
security
So
officer immediately.
could be wrong. I think in the vanilla game there isn't actually a window there. Now I think we've added one in this version of the cell to stop players doing. Yes, because otherwise you could shoot the overseer here, or you could shoot the gunner there. So in the vanilla cell, you can just walk through that window because it doesn't actually exist. Or maybe it does exist, but there's no collision. I'm not sure.
Hey.
Please, not now. I'm currently terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought.
He does say the line. Yay!
You're back.
What?
Yes, it's me.
Oh shit, you gotta be kidding me. What are you doing here? Haven't you killed enough gunners already?
I like how he's not wearing anything. I think that's a case of just pulling from the... what do you call it? Like the different outfits that characters can have. There's a name for it, like a template. I think it's just pulled from that, and obviously it's just gone with him just wearing a harness and some armor. So he looks very scary. Fun fact, the face for this gunner got reused on a gunner later on in Chapter 3. Wasn't meant to, it's just because this gunner was used as a template. And so he got used again and the face didn't get changed, so it's a different gunner who appears later on, but people confuse him for this gunner because he looks the same.
Do we know each other?
Avoid at all costs. That's what the higher-ups said about you.
See, he looks scared.
You hold second place
And
for
so
most gunners killed by hostile. Until recently, we didn't even know what you looked like. You never left enough of us alive to give a clear report.
So, his face was designed to look a bit scared here. So when his face got reused on a different NPC, that NPC just looked scared all the time, and it just didn't work. Major Isaac, yes. Who appears in Chapter 3. I think that's been fixed now. He has a unique face.
I'm just here to talk.
Really? Just talking. Okay, we can do that. Look, before you get all trigger happy, the only people we killed here were those who shot us first. We're just following orders from Captain West, okay?
Weird stuff going on with the face, though.
What exactly is your mission here?
Breach and secure.
Just
Pacify the
Algernon
residents,
walking in.
Get them to cooperate if we could. We're not raiders. Most of us try to avoid slaughter. If our orders allow it.
That's not why I'm here.
If you're not here because of the attack, then why are you here?
Good question. Entrance is secure. Vault security can take it from here.
Oh God, you're Aiden McTavish, aren't you? You're here as well? And Captain Algernon too? What?
Shut up. I'll make this real simple. Recently the Gunners stole a comm hub computer. If you want to leave this place alive, you're gonna tell us everything you know about it.
What? Look, I don't know nothing about that. We're just meant to secure the vault, that's it? No one said anything about a hub computer.
So, this is one of the times where we use the writing trick of, I have no player lines to tell this gunner that we're here for the comm hub. But thankfully, we have loads of other characters around, so they do the heavy lifting. I'm going to use my perk powers, yes.
Anything else I should know?
If there was anything else, I'd tell you, believe me. I don't want to mess with the likes of you. I ain't got no death wish. Oh, but wait, there was something. We did have a prior mission, but it had to be scrubbed. We were meant to meet with Commander Berman.
Commander? Sounds like somebody was promoted. If men like Berman are now leading squads. The Gunners may be further gone than I thought.
He needed help moving something, sir. Something big. But my squad got delayed before we could meet up. And the attack on this vault couldn't wait.
Something big, huh? How much you want to bet that's the comm hub? This Berman. You got a way to contact him?
Yeah. This radio. I was meant to call him when we were done here.
Hand it over. On the desk, now.
Sure. Take it. It's yours. So, me and my men, we can go now, right?
Okay, so if at this point you don't have Algernon with you because you killed him or told him to go away, the let Algernon decide option is replaced with let Aiden decide. And I've never seen anyone have that because most people keep Algernon around. And I'm really hoping it's implemented because it's really fun. But we're going to go with the Algernon path, of course we are.
Where will you go?
I don't know. I guess we'd be deserters. We'd have to lay low, or risk enforcement squad coming after us.
Up to you.
You're dismissed, Sergeant. Take your men and find a safe house. Maintain radio silence until you hear from me.
Yes, sir. I don't know what West's plans are, but we want no more part of them. We won't cause any more trouble.
Let's try this radio. See if we can't gather some more intel. Try turning it on.
Sergeant, about time your lazy ass
The pack of
radioed
cigarettes are
in.
talking
What the hell
to me.
kept you? Had to move everything myself. Whatever. You finished at that vault now? You got any spare men left? Bring them with you. Could use the extra cannon fodder. Lost a few of mine attacking a settlement. Ungrateful pissheads actually fought back. You believe that?
Yeah, let's move a bit closer. Maybe that'll fix it. There we go.
I want answers, asshole. Now.
What the fuck? Wait, who is there? What are you doing with a gunner radio?
That's Berman, the one who took your comm hub to Wes.
Certainly seen better days, hasn't it?
Trying to... Okay, hopefully this works. Okay, so again, if you don't have Algernon with you, obviously you can't have Algernon talk option. In which case, Overseer McManera will talk instead. Now, I've only ever seen people do Algernon, which again is the default thing you're going to do, or have Aiden talk. But you know what? I think Mansfield should talk.
Can't you talk to them?
Oh, really? Me? Okay. Hello? This is Deputy Overseer Mansfield of Vault 81. I demand, that is, I request, if you'd be willing, that you...
Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Did you say Mansfield? From Vault 81? Why does that sound familiar? Oh, yeah! The security chick I wasted. She was called Mansfield, too. She was from the same vault. Small world, huh? I don't suppose you two knew each other. Hey, that voice I heard before. That was that vault dweller chump, right? The, whole survivor or whatever. Put him back on the radio. I want to talk to them.
Berman, you are rude, and you made Mansfield cry.
If you have something to say, I'm listening.
Yeah, you're the partner of the guy we nabbed, right? Building settlements and
I
stuff.
like my man. Obviously, McManera is just sitting there.
There's just so many
No other day in the
towns
vault.
and outposts. They'll all make good vassals for the gunners. Might take a while to capture them all, but, you know, with your hub computer hooked into our comms, it's only a matter of time. Oh, and don't even think about trying to get it back. The place I just moved into ain't nowhere we got that's more secure. You'd need an armed militia to even set foot inside.
Oh, I see in the chat. Yes, you've just discovered some deep lore. The one who killed Mansfield's sister was Berman. Now, it's not quite as nasty as he makes it out. He's kind of playing it up on purpose to get at Mansfield, because obviously he's trying to taunt us here and make us feel bad. But he did end up killing her. But I will reveal the official lore of what happened. She was following the gunners. She snuck up on them, pulled her weapon and aimed it at them, was demanding that they surrender, and that's when Berman instead pulled his weapon. So she did technically pull her weapon first, so was Berman justified in blowing her away? It's up to you to decide. But yeah, Berman killed Mansfield's sister.
Why are you doing this?
Why? Because I can. What? You think everyone's got some grand reason to do what they do? Don't be stupid.
I see Kez saying, but Berman's lying about to get a rise out of him because it was the gunners' told about there being an incident. So, true and false. Berman is doing it to get a rise out of Mansfield and the player. But he was the one who killed her. And it was technically an accident, which is why those gunners are saying, but it was an accident, because they didn't intend to kill her, but she pulled a gun on them, Berman pulled his gun, there was a firefight. So it wasn't the intention to kill her. But she did end up dying. So again, if Berman was in the right or wrong there, that's up for you to decide, but you know, it's Berman. You never know. This conversation's over, Berman.
I'm tired of this conversation.
What? You think you're too good for me or something?
Yeah.
You talk real big, but I know you ain't so tough. And your little settlements, they ain't so tough either. In fact, I just came from one of them. Even took me a little souvenir.
Oh no.
Some old guy mouthed off at me, said I couldn't shoot straight. So I figure, hey, he must be volunteering his body for a little target practice. Maybe you know him. Hey, take that old coop's gag off. Let him talk.
Consarn it, get off me! And while you're at it, unbind my hands. Or are you boys afraid of an old scaver?
Oh no, it's Paul!
Oh no.
Was gonna take my time on this guy, you know, teach him a lesson. But whatever. Hey, you! Hey! Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Quit your hollering. And stop waving that gun around. With an aim as bad as yours, you probably end up shooting your own foot.
Shut it! You're gonna serve as an example. Show what happens when someone stands against the gunners. Any last words?
Oh, I got plenty of words. But most have too many syllables for the likes of you to understand. How about witless troglodyte? Or ham-fisted reprobate? Here's one you might comprehend. Lousy shot.
How's my aim now? Wasteland trash?
He killed Paul. So, 2 fun facts there. I doubt it would ever be revealed anywhere, so I can reveal it here. So, Paul was taken to be interrogated, let's say. But he wasn't intended to be killed. So, you know, maybe Berman isn't as bad as what he seems. However, when the player contacts him on the radio, Berman sees, here's an opportunity. If I kill Paul, that will show them that I'm serious, and then they'll back off. So that's his intent there. Paul could have lived, I guess, maybe, if things went a different way. Also, Paul was just executed with Jake's gun, because Berman still has that in his possession. So that's why it's a laser rifle that you hear being fired off there, because it's actually Jake's laser pistol thing. I don't care that you killed old Paul.
Does he really think I care?
What? You didn't know that old guy? Wasn't he one of your people or something? Or you just not give a shit? Whatever, listen. You keep messing with us, the same will happen to you. I'm done talking. Still got a lot of work to do. And you keep out of our way, or you will regret it.
Damn that Berman. He's the embodiment of everything wrong with the Gunners. That guy he shot, someone you knew?
I never even liked that idiot.
I'm unsure I'll ever get used to just how flippant wastelanders can be about death.
In spite of what happened, that radio call may have been just what we needed. Unwittingly, Berman let slip exactly where he's moved your comm hub to. He always was a loudmouth.
Yeah, I heard it as well. Ain't nowhere we got that's more secure. That describes only one gunner-controlled location I know of.
Exactly. Only place he could have been talking about. The Gunners Plaza. Our main base of operations.
Where is this place?
South of here. Most dangerous part of the Commonwealth. If you don't count the glowing sea, that is.
Plaza used to be the old GNN HQ. It's been occupied by the Gunners for as long as I can recall, and it's firmly under their control.
I don't see how that helps us.
Knowing where your hub is, that's the first step in getting it back.
No time to waste. Let's get moving.
Hold on. It's not that simple. That gunner, Berman, he wasn't lying about needing an armed militia to get inside the Gunners Plaza.
Aiden's right. The Plaza's one of the most secure places in the Commonwealth. Automated turrets, minefields, even a vertibird fixed up with missiles.
If you want to get your comm hub back, we're going to need a plan.
I've got an idea.
Oh yeah? Care to share it with the rest of the class?
I say we attack.
Come up with that yourself, did you? Well, it's not a terrible idea. We could pull it off. Providing we do a little setup first. We need the right people, and more intel than we have right now.
Well, if we could guarantee no one else got hurt, I'd say it was a great idea.
Before committing to anything, you should run this by Jake. I'm sure he'll have an opinion to share. In the meantime, I'll start preparations for an assault.
I'm not ready to do this yet.
Time's a factor here. Regardless of your decision, I need to start prepping now.
If you say so.
We know where your hub is. Now it's just a matter of taking it back.
Yay! Now I'm gonna see... Oh, look at this mess they made. Those gunners, they're just no good, I tell you. Now, I'm gonna test whether the post-quest conversations work. I think they work for some of the characters.
Hey there.
Okay, Cal. Aiden's post-quest talk, still not firing. Maybe because he's typing, maybe because it's broken. So Aiden's meant to have a post-quest talk here, where he just kind of re-says the same things he just said and tells you to stop wasting time. So, not missing too much, but you know, it's nice to have it there. Let's see. I know Algernon's works for sure. Algernon's used to fire off when he was outside.
I hate to think of what they had planned for us.
You're lucky I got here when I did.
Once again, thank you.
Okay, the Overseer's works. That's great. Does Mansfield's work?
Excuse me.
What happened there to your friend? Or settler? Tenant? Whatever he was to you. I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay, Mansfield's works. Looks like it's maybe just Aiden. Cal says already logged. Already logged by you? It had better be. Erica says, alright, sir, now get my mod that makes Old Paul the new mysterious stranger so that idiot can show you how to shoot a gun. Okay. You know what? I'll make that official law. He comes back, he was... It was a simp Old Paul that got killed, and the real Old Paul set it up so he could become the mysterious stranger. There we go. Official law. I just changed it. It's Garvok. Hello. Have you put in any work into Conqueror and SS2? Okay, again, I'm sleepy, so I can't read things. I'm going to try that again. Have you put any work into how Conqueror and SS2 could work, would work, or when it would work directly? Okay, I can't read it, and it's not because of how you wrote it. It's because my eyes are glazed over because I'm sleepy. So what you're asking there is, have I thought any work or put any work? Have I... For fuck's sake. Have I put any thought into, or have I done any work into getting Conqueror and SS2 working and running at the same time? Because they have conflicting stories. It's something we've thought about for a long time, and the point of which you choose would have to be like super early in Chapter 1. And so we kind of decided, until we get to that point, we're not going to put that much thought into it. Because ideally you would have it be later. You broke my brain. I hope you're happy. Ideally, you want it to happen later so that you can do all the Jake quests. Because otherwise, you need to have alternate quests to teach you all the SS2 stuff, and it would have to be Jammer teaching it to you, and it would make no sense, so... We kind of just abandoned it, because it's like, it's too much jumping through hoops at this stage. We'll worry about that when we come to that bridge. But for now, nope. Not worrying about it. Now, let's try Algernon.
Hi.
Hello. It's good to see you again. How's your
Okay,
partner?
so it's just Aiden. It looks like Algernon's
He
working
recovered
fine.
from the whole kidnapping thing? Aiden said he's tougher than he looks, that he'd bounce back in no time.
How are things going?
Not as I expected, I'll say that much. When I left to try and find out where your hub might be, it didn't take long for Aiden to reveal himself. Apparently, he didn't trust me to honor my word. So, I invited him to join me, have us search for leads on your hub together. Surprisingly, he accepted.
So what's the deal with you two anyway?
What? Me and Aiden? As it turns out, we actually work fairly well together. He's good at gathering intel, and not too bad at tactical planning. To be honest, I didn't expect him to be so willing for us to travel together. Don't get me wrong, I still catch him looking over his shoulder now and again. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't do the same. But for the time being, we have the same goal. So, I think we can put our differences aside.
So what's the deal with you two?
What? Don't get me...
Sure. But he's fine.
He is? I'm glad. When I sent my men to retrieve Evans, I gave precise instructions not to harm him. But I should have known Berman would disobey my orders. And I should have never trusted him to bring back your comm hub. I I wanted to stop West from getting his hands on it. Instead, my actions delivered your hub right to him.
I should get going.
Right. See you later.
And then he kills me. I don't know why he just got his gun out. We did it. We saved the vault. We're heroes. They will remember this. Ganook asks, any movement on Algernon's VA for Chapter 3? So I think last that we checked in, he's willing to do more. I think it was either we thought he wouldn't be available, or he was busy at the time doing something else, so we decided not to push it. But from what I understand, he's willing to come back, which is great, because obviously there was more content planned for Algernon. And
It's time to do this sort of cleaning.
We'll get that in at some point. And it would be... something would happen just after Chapter 3 starts. So, right now, if you ask, I think, Lupe about Algernon, right at the start of Chapter 3, she'll say... she'll mention him. And then if asked about him, she'll mention that they've tried to get in contact, but they haven't been able to. And that will be revealed as to why. There's a reason why he hasn't been in contact.
The only way you get old in this job is a...
So let's head back to Museum of Freedom, but I think
everyone's out to...
2 quests, that's pretty good. I can feel my brain starting to melt though, as Karvak just managed to do, so thank you. So we'll be wrapping up shortly, so if there's any more questions you want to get in before we call it here for today, get typing. Just save our game. There we go. And where is OBS? There it is. Okay. Well, that was today's playthrough. We had quite a few notes this time. I think the Grey Matters quest is definitely one that I have a lot to say on for obvious reasons. Karvak apologizes for melting my brain. Well, I suppose if you're sorry, it's okay. But yeah, we did quite a few quests today, quite a few things that came up in terms of some background information on how things were developed. Hopefully that was interesting to you. So if there's any questions that came up from today's playthrough, or any questions about King Gaff Creations and East Empire expansion, feel free. Any other random questions, feel free as well. I will remind everyone who's maybe coming a bit later, this will be my last stream this year, because I'm actually going away for Christmas. So you won't see me again until the new year. So now's the time to get those questions in, because otherwise you'll just have to ask me on Discord or ask me on the forums. And I do have some questions, I think, on the Ask the Writer of Sim Settlements 2 Anything thread, which I will catch up with. I think there's a good chunk of them now for me to make a good response to. Random Wanderer. Have you ever maybe, but not yet, one time or another, in one way, you know, found that it's not always your tired brain and... Okay, that took me way longer to figure out what the hell you're doing there. And that was mean. And you're not allowed to play Sim Settlements 2 anymore. Just because you tried to break my brain more. And that's not nice. It's funny, but it's not nice. Yes, that is mean. My poor brain's already melting out my ears and you're just... That's not enough for you. Will your thirst ever be quenched? Ah. For those who may not be subscribed yet, you should go subscribe to Erica's YouTube channel. Erica makes lovely little animations, often based around SS2 content. And apparently, in half an hour, there's going to be one published. You should go check that out, maybe. I'm not sure if you can post links or not in the chat, but give it a go, Erica. See if you can post a link to your channel. I think it might work because it's YouTube. And it's a link to a YouTube thing, so I'm going to assume that would work. I give you permission. You may post the link. It is fine. Ha. Only moderators can link. Ah, boo. I don't think I have any moderators. I'll have to set that up sometime. So far, we've been very good for people not causing any mayhem. And unlike in Gaff's old streams, we haven't had any sex bots come in. The sex bots used to love Gaff's streams. I don't know if that's been fixed now, or the moderators just keep on top of it. I've not seen them in a while, though. For channels, folks just need to click on your name. Click on Erica's name, and it should bring you to her YouTube channel. I don't know, Kez. I don't know if we should risk giving you the power. Would you be responsible? Can we trust you? That's the question. And can we trust you saying that we can trust you? There's multiple levels of trust there. Definitely not. I might still give you moderator powers at some point anyway. We've been quite good so far. I did half maybe expect that we might get 1 or 2 people coming in to yell at me for joining the Bethesda creation program thing. But I don't think anyone knows who I am, so I think I'm good. Like, I don't think anyone outside of people I've told know that I work on that, because I don't think we... I could be wrong. I think all so far we have is the website for King Gaff Creations, and I don't know if we have, like, everyone who is a part of it on there or not. I'm not sure if that will come later. Yeah, so... people don't know to yell at me, but I wasn't going to be shocked if someone came in to be like, you're mean and nasty, and how dare you make a paid creation, you monster. Unfortunately, it's only Gaff who's gotten that so far. Yes, I'm part of King Gaff Creations. So far we've only released one thing so far, which is the East Empire expansion, and I wrote all the dialogue for that. I designed the quests and came up with how to teach the player the mechanics, and I think I came up with the convincing the Jarl mechanics. Anything else mechanical wise, that's of course Gaff, and all the scripting and coming up with all the ideas of dropping stuff off, and then you're getting cuts and all the mining, so that's all him. Cynical did all of the buildings. I was going to call them building plans then. All of the camps that you find, and as they level up over time, as you invest in the East Empire. And she also did the flag art for the East Empire's logo of the ship. And she probably did some other things I'm forgetting. And Kobus... I also did the voice for Corin, the High Elf. Kobus did the voice of Shikar, and he did the voice of the Contact, and he did the voice of another character who no one's seen yet, but the leader of the East Empire will show up at some point, and he did the voice for him as well. And he also handled all of the take selection and the audio editing and all that stuff, so that was all his job. So yeah, we all had our little jobs, and we came together to make some content for Skyrim. That was fun and interesting. So that's another voice I can do sometime if I'm feeling kind. I can do the Corin voice if I'm feeling kind. Carvox says, so I was playing it last night, and I'm not sure the instructions to split loot as in market for sale is clear, and had to go to the forums to understand that. If you can sort of write up what it was you struggled with, it might be something maybe we can like refine or make a bit more clear. So I think I get what you're saying, but if you can sort of describe in a bit more detail and throw it on the forums, that will be useful. Like if it was the in-game instructions that were unclear, or if it was the spoken instructions that were unclear. Either way, we should be able to hopefully make that a bit more understandable if it's not too obvious. Because that's another thing, we didn't have too many people testing. It was just us mostly testing it. And Bethesda also, I think, helped us out there. Because that's part of the program, they help us out. Again, before I was saying, like, people are giving Bethesda a really hard time over this, and I get it. I really do. I would be there with them if I didn't know as much as I know by being part of the program. But I really do think this time Bethesda are doing a lot to help out. Like, they want this to succeed, and they want it to succeed for us as well for them. Like, let's not pretend it's not about making money. Of course it is. They're a company. They want to make money. But I think they're doing it in a way that is a lot more beneficial than the previous time they tried. So, like, they've improved. You got to give them a pat on the head for that, at least. And they are helping us. Like, I think there's probably a lot more back into now compared to the last attempt of a marketplace. So, hey, that person who works at Bethesda who's not watching this, because why would you be? Thanks a lot. I appreciate some of the things you've done. That was very nice of you. You know what it was, those things. Good job. Well done. Thank you. Kez asks, is there a King F Creations forum? No. There might be at some point, but I don't think we're big enough or have done anything outside of EEC that would require like questions and answers. But we do have a Discord, as you said, which I think you can find a link to on the website. And if you have any bugs or any suggestions or just any comments, please feel free to comment on the Discord. That's what it's there for. Nick asks, what was my first Bethesda game? Ooh, boy. I think it might have been Morrowind. I never finished it. And I think I was overwhelmed by it just being a complete open world. And, like, that was too much for my young brain to really wrap my head around. So I don't think I really got that far in the game. Probably only played for a few hours. And I was like, I'm not sure what to do here. So that was my first game, but I didn't get too far. The first one I probably actually really played was Oblivion, I think. I got quite far into Oblivion, but I can tell you the exact moment I stopped playing. It's when I went and did the arena. And I went through all of the arena, and I enjoyed it. And I got to the end, and I finished it. And then I left, and I realized, oh, this was all just side content. This was all of a side quest, and it has no bearing on anything I'm going to do outside of that. And I don't think anyone... Maybe there are NPCs in the game who will comment on it, that you're the arena champion. But I think as soon as I left that quest, it was like, it never happened. And I was like, oh, that really feels bad, and I don't like that. And so that was enough to bum me out, and I stopped playing. I stopped playing shortly after that, but the last thing I remember was I slept in a camp somewhere, and I think a member of the Dark Brotherhood just came up to me. He's like, I see you're an evil killer. That's nice. Would you like to be an evil killer with us? And I was thinking, who did I kill? I've only killed, like, bad people who've run at me and been nasty. I haven't, like, murdered anyone. So I'm not sure if that's a bug, or I killed someone who was an innocent accidentally. But yeah, first game I really played was Oblivion. First game I ever really played was Morrowind. Or Morrowind, however you're meant to say it. I always said Morrowind. Could be wrong. That's how little I've heard people say that and remembered them saying it in my brain. Words, language, difficult. I think that's a good indicator. I should probably start wrapping up soon. So any more questions, get them in real quick, and I will do my best to answer them. If not, it may be a whole month before I'm back, because I'll be away over the Christmas holidays. Kez says, I was actually going to ask if you channeled a name I cannot pronounce. I'm not even going to try for Corin, but I guess not. Nope. Whoever that character is. Corin is my default elfie voice. I did do that elf voice for, is it Skyblivion? I think Skyblivion. It's one of the first voice acting things I actually did when I started doing voice acting. I was just looking out for mods, and I found them before I found SS2. I provided the voice for them, but let's just say the scripts they provided weren't on the level that Cobus provides to our VAs. So it was very confusing. Not at all clear. They expected the VAs to do a lot more work than you should expect a VA to do. So, like, I wasn't even sure I recorded all the lines. Like, I had to go extract my dialogue from, like, the game itself somehow or something. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. It's like, I just use this tool. It's like, no, just hand me a script and I'll read the script. And then I recorded the dialogue. And I said, like, is all this okay? Is all this fine? And they're like, yep. It's all fine. So, as far as I knew, I was done with that. And then I think like a year or two later, at this point, I'm working on SS2 now. I get a poke from someone who's like, oh, hi, I'm on the Skyblivion team. I think it's Skyblivion. I could be wrong. Unless it's the other remake that I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's Skyblivion. So I got someone poking me saying, hey, I'm from the Skyblivion team. And that audio you recorded, it's apparently not good enough. So you need to go re-record all of that audio. And at this point, I've been working on SS2 for a while. And I was a bit annoyed because, again, as I just said, like, it was a pain in the ass to even get the lines I meant to say. I remember sending a submission of just like, here's just a few minutes of the audio. Like, is this accent okay? Is my setup okay? Is the audio quality okay? And I got a thumbs up for it. So that's why I went ahead and recorded all the other lines. And then 2 years later, I get them poking me and being like, hey, you need to redo all of that. And I was like, you know what? Like, I really don't want to redo all of that because I remember how much of a pain it was to even try to get the script. I remember no one on the team being able to even tell me if that was the entire script. And now 2 years later, you're saying I got to redo it all. Sorry, no. I'm just like, it'd be really cool. But I'm busy right now with other stuff. And so I can't commit to that. So I did a high elf voice, I think, for Sky Oblivion, but you're not going to hear it unless they clean up that audio. By this point, I think they've probably just got someone else to redo it. So unless someone on the Sky Oblivion team wants to reach out and actually get me the script and give me some direction this time, you're probably not going to hear that voice. But now it's Corin instead. That's Corin's voice. Karvok says, have you had a chance to look at the new game from Owlcat Rogue Trader? No, but Owlcat sounds familiar. Where do I know them from? Are they the guys who did what is it? It's the not D&D game. Plane something? Brain not working? What is it? It's like an older version of D&D that they're sort of basing their game off of. Something Walker? This is how tired I am. I can't remember the name of it. If it's from them, though, I've heard of it. Pathfinder, thank you. Something Walker. Clearly that's what it was. Owlcat is Pathfinder series. No, I've seen and heard of it, I think, but I've not looked into it yet. But knowing what they've done previously, it might be something I'm interested in. Because they do capture sort of the old games I enjoy playing. Random Wanderer, thanks so much for making SS2. You're welcome. I did it all. It was all me. And everything you continue to do for us, fans. Oh, I have fans. Happy Christmas. Thank you. Happy Christmas to you too. When are you back? I'll be back early January. So, probably in a month's time. So, in 4 weeks, I'll be back. And I'm sure everyone here already knows it. My part in SS2, whilst obviously huge, and it could never be replaced by anyone, because I am very important, most of the credit has to go to Gaff and people like SAG who actually implement it all. Because, like, it doesn't matter how good a writing I do, if those guys aren't around to put it all together, there would be no SS2. So, thank you very much for your kind words, but it's definitely a team effort. Kez says, the creepy dark Brotherhood hood guy who watches when you sleep is Lucian. Oh, okay. Interesting. There's a chance his voice was in my head, maybe? Like, it's just like, it's one of the voices that's just a default voice I can bring out, so it could have been influenced by other characters I've heard at some point. Did I ever make mods for Oblivion? No. So the first thing I could say is a mod I did work on was SS2 in terms of a real mod. Everything else prior was like a small modification for something like Baldur's Gate. Very, very small contributions to maps for games like Unreal and Elite Force. Those were games I played when I was very young and was part of communities and clans, because you used to have clans back then who used to play games together. We sort of had people who would make maps or just make content for them, so I think maybe I did some voice work or gave a texture or something to them. That was as much as I did providing for mods in the past. SS2 is my first real big mod. Sky Oblivion is my most anticipated expansion that isn't out yet. Yeah, they've been working on it for a long, long time. Like, those full remake mods, they're crazy. Like, so many of them, at least half of the ones I've been following have just, like, ended. And I've not heard anything from them ever again because it's such a huge undertaking. And I know they've gone through, like, a lot of people who've joined the team and had to leave because, you know, real life issues come up or, like, the project's just taking so long. It's a real problem with projects like that. And it's why I think, like, Gaff's way of doing it with the whole chapter releasing, that was a brilliant idea. Because, you know, otherwise we would have been working right up until, you know, this year to release it. And that's, like, 2 years worth of content you didn't get because we're still working on it. So I think the chapter release might be a good way for like those kind of projects. Like the ones remaking Fallout 3 did something similar with the Point Lookout. They just released that as its own standalone thing. But I know a bunch of people who worked on that have left now. I think some have gone to work for Bethesda. So yeah, big projects like that, it's such an undertaking. Like, you really have to have a very committed team who are willing to sacrifice a lot to make that happen. And it's why we've not really seen any yet. Like, it takes so long to do. It's a lot of effort. Garvok, I figured you might be into them, which is you talking about... I've already forgotten the name. Alcat. As they play a lot like BG1 and 2. Yes. I think they were fans of those games. You can see there's a lot of influence in them. It's interesting to see a Baldur's Gate type game using 3rd edition rules instead of 2nd edition. Well, 2nd edition with a lot of influence from 3rd, because the 3rd was out by the time it was being made, but it was based on 2nd edition. But the Pathfinder games are, I think, 3.5, and so they've got a lot of the D&D I enjoy in them. I'm a 3.5 fan. That's my favorite edition of D&D. And Nick Carter says, I miss UT2K4. Yes. Unreal Tournament 2004 was the best Unreal Tournament. That was when it was at its prime. I remember when Unreal 3 came out. I think the internet clan I was part of, like, we played that for like a few weeks, and they're like, nah, we're just going to go back to Unreal Tournament 2004. That's the better one. And that's when we knew, sort of like, yeah, I think it's done now. We're never going to have it as good as we did. Those were fun games. But I think that's probably all the questions. But if you have any more questions, throw them on the Ask the Writer of SS2 thread, anything, on the SimSettlements 2 forums. There's a whole chunk there I need to get through. So I will catch up on those. I've seen one question sneak in, so this will be the last question I answer. Any more? Save them to next time or throw them up on the forums. Erica asks, are you excited for Fallout London? I look forward to build there with ASAMs and imagine how SS2 would play out in London, what factions the characters would be like, etc. I'm hopeful for Fallout London. And again, it's one of those big mods where it's like, it's so much more work to build everything from scratch. It's so much more of an undertaking. If they pull it off, that's damn impressive. Like, that is so good. From what I've seen, again, I'm on the fence because I'm excited a little bit because it could be really good, but I know how difficult a lot of it is. So it's like, I know where a lot of the pitfalls might be. For me personally, I can forgive a lot of things if the writing is good and the voice acting is good. Like, if the characters are enough to bring me in and the story's enough to bring me in, I can forgive a lot of things. So, fingers crossed, Fallout London has an amazing story and amazing characters and they're well written. But again, I'm also skeptical, so it could be awful. I'm sure it won't be awful. It won't be Fallout Frontier levels. That's a bar that's been set that I think most people working on mods now will do their best to avoid. Because, oh boy, that was a I don't even know where to begin on that. That was I've watched playthroughs of it, and it's such a shame because you can see how much work and effort was put into it. But there's just some areas where you're just like, why, how? Like, I think, I could be wrong, I think they lost leadership a bunch of times, or the leadership wasn't really paying attention to what they should be, and it kind of shows. Like, you need one person to be in charge and call the shots, and decide, like, we're not doing this, or this doesn't match, or, like, the tone of these quests don't work, we need to balance it out. Because there's some really impressive stuff done in that mod, and there's a lot of effort put into certain scenes, but there's also, again, just some stuff that's like, yeah, that shouldn't be there, or that doesn't play well, or that doesn't even match with, like, the aesthetic of what it should be. It's such a... It's really interesting. I think there's some good documentaries out there that document sort of what they did good, what they did bad, where they maybe could have fixed things, because I think it's valuable to look at those things and look where they went right, where they went wrong, because then you can, you know, not replicate the same mistakes, but also you can at least admire some of the things they did well, and understand that it doesn't matter how well you do something, if there's, you know, bad things there, it'll drag it all down, so you don't want those things. It's an interesting lesson to to look into that if you haven't already. Fallout Frontier. And again, it's a real shame. I was half tempted to join them when they had wrapped up and said, you know what, we're done and we're just going to release what's set there. I think at one point they did say they were going to try to go and fix it. Like, they brought on a new team, and the new team was going to take what already been created and try to, you know, pull something out of the ashes, try to rebuild what's there and cobble together what worked and get rid of what didn't work. And I was half tempted to be like, hey, I might help you with the story narrative. But I was also like, that's going to be so much work. I don't think I want to commit to that. I'm already on SS2. And I think already the team that decided to try and fix it, they've also decided, yeah, it's too much. We can't do it. Anyway, it's a real shame. Merry Christmas. Yes, I see in the chat people wishing me happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Our next stream will be on the 7th if nothing comes up. It might be a bit later than the 7th. I'll have to check on that. I'm not entirely sure when I'll be back. Not yet. But I'll let you know ahead of time. But until then, happy holidays, everyone. Have a lovely Christmas. I hope you get all the presents. I hope you've been very good this year. I know I have. I say, not lying. Thank you for the stream, says Erica. Thank you for watching. I wasn't sure anyone would want to watch, even though it was requested. So I'm glad people seem to be enjoying it and getting something out of it. That makes it worthwhile for me. If you guys are enjoying it, then I'm happy to keep doing it. I've already thought about what I'll do after I've finished SS2. I guess now I might play East Empire, now that that's out. Oh my god. Something happened, and it was on my speakers. That was scary. I don't know what happened. Where's my OBS? Ah, Carvuck subscribed. That's what happened. Okay. That scared the hell out of me. Thanks for subscribing, Carvuck. You completely wiped my mind of what I was talking about. Oh, what I'm going to do after I finish SS2. Yes, so we'll finish SS2. Maybe we'll play East Empire expansion. And once that's done, if you guys still want to keep watching, I'll probably retool everything, actually get some proper graphics, you know, actually for me streaming outside of the Pip-Boy me. That was oh so wonderfully done for me by the ever-talented Erica, whose thing you should watch very shortly. If it's... Nope. Another 8 minutes and you can watch it, and it's out. But outside of that, like everything, I just grabbed from random places, so maybe I should, you know, make some proper graphics and theme things properly for a stream. And then I might start playing games that I like. So games that are either just fun for me to just play without really thinking too much, because I can't play a game where I have to think too much and stream at the same time. The first game I thought of was Black and White, which is an old God Simulator game that I love. I love that game. And I thought that might be interesting to play on stream. If you don't know that game, you're in for a treat. It's an old game, but you know what? I think it holds up, and I think it's a shame no games have tried to do anything like it really recently. At least tried to do it successfully. But yeah, if any of you have any ideas or suggestions on what you'd like to see once we've wrapped with SS2, don't be afraid to think about them, throw them at me, poke me on Discord, throw it on the forums, or do it here and hopefully I'll notice. But until then, play Unreal Tournament. I don't think I can play Unreal Tournament and pay attention to chat and converse with you guys at the same time. That's a game that takes my full concentration. Okay, we got some people in the chat who've played Black and White. That creature. I never bothered training it my first few times playing because it was just such a pain in the ass. I just ignored it. But that's part of the challenge now, to actually train it and get it working right. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I could do Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I love those games. Normally I play them as story games, and so I want to like be fully immersed in them. But I can definitely just play them as a mess around, because I did that a lot as well when I was younger. Nowadays I play them like every year or two. I'll get the urge to replay it, and I just want to fully immerse myself in it. So like it wouldn't be one of those playthroughs, but I also used to just play it and just mess around all the time when I was young. So might be my first time doing that in a long time, but I'd happily do that for a stream. But until then, it is time for me to say goodbye. So have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that stuff. I will see you next year. And until then, thanks for watching.